Hey, good morning. Yes, happy Thursday. Yeah, I got a different cup. I normally use the Coleman. Oh, reach over here. This is my Coleman. And I'll tell you, I've used these for years, and I love them. They're no spill. You don't have to worry. They're hard to clean, but they're a no spill. You can tip her upside down. It's not going to fall out. I couldn't find it yesterday. Because as you get older, you're like me, you lay things down, and you forget where you put them. So I was in Walmart, and Ozark had a 32 ouncer, and I'm like, bigger must be better. But I'm trying to figure out how much I like it. The Coleman I like because I don't have to worry about if it tips off the desk and it hits the floor, it won't spill a drop. But I noticed that the Ozarks, they leak even when they're totally sealed. Because I can get a sip of coffee with the lid shut. So if I don't like it, my son will grab it. Alright, so I thought today's video would kind of concentrate on two different things. And that is pricing in a shop and the feeling of being called crooks per se. And the other is, Jackie asked about if you work on somebody's machine and you find out that it's not repairable, do you still charge them or do I just nil it? So we're going to go into both of those things. So David had brought up in the last video I did, he commented that if you have one shop in the area that's charging less than the other three, you got four, so you get 25%. If that person is charging less money than the other three shops, why do you feel that you're being called a crook? See, this is not even close to what I was trying to get across yesterday, and I'm sorry if it came across the wrong way. My clientele are going to be different than your clientele. All right? I already know that. I don't sell new machines, so those people looking to buy a brand new one and get financed, I don't do it. The bulk of the people that we see are the ones that go out and buy a $500 or $600 used machine and try to keep it going for a few years. And they don't want to go into a lot of debt to buy that fancy new machine. So the customer you have is willing to spend more, and the customer I have is not willing to spend as much. Now, why don't I go after the customers that you have? It's because I don't want the overhead. I don't care about having a fancy shop or having, lettering all over and a whole yard full of brand new machines. At my age, that would keep me up at night. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that heavy debt laden at this age. If you're young and you're just starting out, if you've watched any of my videos, I tell you, don't go out and, get a building, buy a building and then buy inventory and buy floor planning and buy. I don't. But I leave that up to you and you guys of what you would want and how to run a shop. Now, I know, David, the shop that you're third generation. I got shops around here that are third generation. And they're floor planning. I mean, they're even selling Mahindra tractors. But the guy is so heavy in debt because he keeps adding more lines in, for bigger inventory so we can get more customers. And the sad thing is there's only just so many customers in the area. And when they even tried branching off to 3 stores in 3 different towns, and they end up closing the other 2 because people were willing to travel to them, that centralized location, to buy their stuff. They didn't need to go to them. They were willing to drive the 10, 12 miles to them. But my heart goes out to you guys too, because I'm seeing more and more people can't afford to go out and buy new. Credit ratings are shot, so they don't have a good credit rating to get finance. And if they do, it's a stupid interest rate. And that means you're stuck with a bunch of machines that didn't sell that you have to sit on all winter long if it's lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers. And then when the new ones come in, now you got leftovers and the new ones. And you really can't do what the big box stores do. See, if you ever watch the big box, I'm talking Tractor Supply, Walmart, when they get to the end of a season, and that we'll use, our shop, our businesses, our model. When it gets to the end of the season, going into fall, we then reduce the lawnmowers and the lawn and garden stuff down to just above cost to get rid of that inventory, to make room for the new fall inventory, which is your snow blowers and that's it, snow blowers. Now, if you're running a shop where you're selling units that have dual purposes, where they can mow in the summertime and blow snow in the wintertime, then that's great. But most of them don't. And most of them are selling the entry-level mowers that don't have a lot of bells and whistles. And for the cost of a snowblower to mount on the front of one of those, if you did step up, you could buy a walk-behind cheaper. And that's what a lot of people do. But the last thing I would ever do is call you guys crooks. You're not crooks. You're in a situation that you decided to go this direction where I'm kind of running below you, okay? Your clientele have got the money to give you. My clientele does not. I'm not attracting new customers based on brand new lawnmowers sitting out in my front yard or brand new snow blowers. And no, I'm not interested. I don't need the headaches. But if that's something that you want to do, or if that's something that you have been doing for years and it's working for you, all the power to you. But if you're new and you're just getting into this, go in easy. Do it the right way. And that is, you don't need to go guns to the wall and hook onto 4 or 5 floor plans, big preseason orders, and all that other stuff. And that's the thing with preseason orders with you guys. I was doing around a $50,000 preseason order, okay, between a couple different manufacturers for parts, because I was banking on what I had sold the year before, and that was working. It had worked for a number of years. But when I started seeing the writing on the wall with more people coming in and trying to sell parts online, especially the Chinese, I did a back roll as far as I didn't do any preseason that year because I didn't know what I'd be able to sell. Decided we go just ordering it day by day and pay a little bit more. With most of them, we were already at distributor level anyways, so But no, you need to think smart. And you're no way a crook, David. If you're third generation, you guys must be doing something right, hopefully. And hopefully your business is making money. And I understand because I have my competition, okay, is just like your competition. My competition is I've got 3 or 4 guys around me that are doing it nights and weekends, all right? And they don't have payroll, they don't have employees, they don't have, and they're charging $20. Now, do I get, upset with them? Absolutely not. You know why? Because they all come here to buy their parts. Yeah. They all come here. And one of them, he just turned 21. He's, I don't know whether ADD or ADHD or a little bit of TMR. And his mother has just been, like, over the years, hard to deal with him. But now he's focused on working on lawnmowers. I mean, he does call a lot and text a lot, but we'll stop up and look and see what he's working on and see if we can give him a hand. We give him a cut on parts so that he can make a few bucks. And that's all good. So don't ever exclude the people that are your competition. Make them friends. All right, we'll talk about what Jackie had brought up. Okay, so on Jackie's question, she wanted to know if after working on machines for so long, you realize that it's not fixable, or that it would cost more to fix it than what it's worth, is how I look at it. What do you do at that point? Well, your time is not free. It costs money. And here at the shop, we tell people that the minimum you're going to be charged is $40. And that's just to take a quick glance at it and diagnose it, if that's the issue. Now, if they want to have us do a diagnosis and get a hold of them and see what it's going to cost to fix it. See, our shop rate's $55, but we charge a $40 flat fee. Unless the customer drops the machine off and says, "Can you fix it?" And we'll do our best. But if what I do is I keep the customer abreast of what I'm doing, so that if I come into a situation of, all right, excuse me, this is what I found. What do you want to do? If you're asking my opinion, I would ditch it and go get something else, honestly. But that's totally up to you. You may be looking at a rebuilt engine or a PTO clutch that went on it, and it's an old machine. I've got one that I do the hang on his farm, so what I do with him is I just keep his old crap going. He's got one that looks like it's about a 1968 Simplicity that he wants us to put a drive belt on it. That's fine as long as it's something simple. But if I put parts and labor into a machine and I get to a certain point of where I need to call the customer to have them have their say, once that call is made, any work done up to that point, I do bill the customer. If I make the call and the customer says stop, that's where the billing stops. All right? Any parts I'm putting into it, any labor I'm putting into it is already, you have to be paid. And I'm not sure what your situation is, Jackie, but my mechanics don't work for peanuts. if they're out there working on something, if it doesn't pan out, then I can't afford to pay them if we're not getting paid ourselves. So it's kind of like a catch-22. I know in some shops that are doing flat rate that, it's more on the mechanic than it is the business owner. But I also know of quite a few examples over the years of people being charged $1,100-$1,200 for a machine that brand new only cost $900, and for $1,500 they could replace it this year. That's crazy. That's over the halfway rule. If it's over halfway to a new one, was what it costs to fix your old one, I always encourage, why not take that money and put it towards your new one? And they're out $40 for me telling them that. So that's where we stand in our shop on that, Jackie. So on that, you guys have a great Thursday, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning. Keep the comments coming. Let me know what you like to hear about, and hopefully I've kind of explained myself, David, to you and your family, and where we stand and you stand. All right. Have a great day.